Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. It's me. It's your favorite community manager. It's Elliot. Here with another Learn to Build stream in Sansar. So, if you've been watching our weekly streams for a while, you'll know that I have no idea what I'm doing. I started working here a couple of months ago, earlier this year. I had no game design experience, no 3D modeling experience, no program experience. I just hit create on Sansar. I just put an hour a week and started learning to build. And now I'm at the point where I feel like I can teach you how to build. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. And today we'll be focusing on how to make games and game-like experiences in Sansar. So last week I did a little bit of a warm-up showing off a couple of experiences. So we're going to do a little recap of what we looked at last week. And this is my experience Race to the Top. And the very basic premise that I wanted to show off was that you don't need scripts to make a game in Sansar, okay? You don't need to know C# or Python or anything else. You don't need to be a great scripter. You can make a game using mechanics that exist in Sansar. So these objects are blue. That means I can pick them up. But they are not a dynamic object. A dynamic object falls to the ground when I throw it. This stays in the air. So this is a keyframed object that we have set the can grab feature to be on. So there's a little toggle. And it says can grab, yes, no. And we say yes. And now it stays in the air when I throw it. So there's three types of objects in Sansar. There's static, like this tower. It's solid, it doesn't move. Dynamic, as I mentioned, it's like a ball. You throw it, and it'll bounce and roll. And then there's keyframed, which is used for things like animated objects, like doors that are going to move when you use a script. A little precursor to what we're going to be doing today. And then there's things like this, which is keyframed with can grab. So if I teleport on here, I can stand up on it. And yeah, the basic idea is build a tower out of blocks that you have without needing a single script. That's just an object that we set using the in-game settings already available to us in Sansar. And what was really cool is some users took that idea and really expanded with it. So Catalina has her experience, Cabo Polonio, and she took this idea and made it kind of cooler. It's not really a game just so much as a cool visual effect of media spheres that you can throw around and build towers with. But Space Sailor, in his Stuff the Tree experience, went a little bit further. Hey Optic, thanks for tuning in today. Very nice to have you here. Our friends at the Optic Gaming, of course. So midnight we'll be streaming some CWL action in Sansar. I'll be doing a little meet and greet casting, or at least talking about the CWL games going on there. So check out the Greenwall Arena in about 3 hours at 2 p.m. Pacific time to catch that event. Okay, so this is Space Sailor's Stuff the Tree experience. And you see here we have a Christmas tree. And if I run over here to these baubles, it's shift to run, by the way. It's a toggle in desktop mode anyway. So I can pick this up, and now I'm going to have some lag, but that's okay. We're going to catch up. There we go. So this is the same kind of thing. When I can pick it up, but when I throw it or drop it, it stays still. So very obvious way we can use this. Okay, you want to build a tower like I did? Well, Space Sailor said, why don't we do, it's the holidays, let's do a Christmas experience. So you can pick it up, the Christmas decorations, and drop them on the tree and decorate them. Now obviously this is much better in VR where you've got full hand articulation. It's a bit limited to this one throw animation in desktop mode, but clearly we've got quite the festive experience without any script at all. So those are some things I wanted to show off for a little recap. And I think it's important to know that it's not intimidating to get into building. Like I said, I'm an enthusiast of game designer. I'm an amateur card game designer in my own free time. I haven't published anything yet, but I get the basics. And I'm just running around trying to figure stuff out, and it is amazing how much I've learned by just putting in a little bit of time in Sansar to learn it. So, let's do our recap of the wrong thing. Don't look at my Twitch dashboard. Shh. Okay. let's do a little recap of what we covered last week. Some basics of game design theory. So, okay, I've come into Sansar, I want to make a game. What are some basics that I need to know? Again, disclaimer, amateur board game designer. So I get the theory, not necessarily an expert, but that means it's just as accessible to you as it is to me. So let's cover some basics. We're going to want to pick a central mechanic, okay? We're going to want the player to come into the experience and there's one core mechanic that they understand, okay? So we're not going to worry about being able to hide in bushes and that gives you a 50% chance. We're not going to worry about being able to swap out an array of different swords or guns or whatever. We're just, pick one core mechanic. And even more complex video games, there's some core mechanic, some core action loop that a player is going to repeat. That's the center of the game. And then the second part to that is how you're going to teach that to the player, okay? So I alluded to some excellent YouTube videos last week. Check out Extra Credits Design Club series and the Super Mario Brothers video where they explain how World 1, Level 1 of Super Mario Brothers teaches you everything you need to know in like the first couple of screens. And from there you can beat Super Mario Bros. Right? You now know everything you need to know to beat the game. And it's really interesting how they force you to learn that. So I highly recommend this video. It's only 5 minutes long and it's really informative. Another great one is Egoraptor's video on Mega Man Classic and Mega Man X. And I think this is the right video. Pretty sure it is. I think, yeah, this is the one. Just double checking. So this is a great video by Egoraptor that tells you a little bit about how Mega Man X teaches you everything you need to know to beat the entire game in the first level, thanks to wonderful things like Super Mario Brothers establishing that in game design history. So a little bit of homework for you to go check out. It's only like 25 minutes of YouTube. You spend more than 25 minutes on YouTube or Reddit. So go watch those videos. They're great. Give them a like and a sub. They're really interesting and making you think about how video games teach you the core mechanic that is the game. Cool. That's point one. Done. Moving on. What is the objective and where is the objective? Okay. So if we come back in to Sansar, Space Sailor's already done a good job of this, okay? So I spawned somewhere around here facing the tree, okay? So there is a Christmas tree, and it is over there. And then here, I have Christmas tree decorations. So from context of being, from context of just, life, I know that Christmas decorations go on a Christmas tree. So I can assume that I could pick up these Christmas decorations and go and put them on the tree. Right? And there we go. We don't need much more than that. We just get given context and we know what's supposed to happen. It also helps that the experience is called stuff the tree. Now, I've never heard anyone describe decorating a tree as stuffing the tree, but it is a verb. And so the name of the experience gives us an implication of what it is we're going to do. And even in the thumbnail he's used that shows the experience, we see Christmas decorations in the foreground and a Christmas tree in the background. Cool. I get it. I tried to do a similar thing with my Race to the Top experiences. So it shows you a tower in the distance, and the tower is all lit up with great big lights. It is apparent that's where you want to get to, and in the thumbnail, it shows you where you're going to start and where you're going to end. This one's the vertical one. Race to the Top 2 is more horizontal, so we see the start and where it's going to end. And I did the same thing with my Leap of Faith maze. So we see here in the thumbnail, we're going to start here. There seems to be some kind of path, and then there's a door and a light, and it's a friendly light, soft greens and pinks, no scary looking reds, so it's fair to assume that I'm like, oh, there's a door, I want to go get to the door. But you'll see, the point of this maze is that the light reflects off the path, so it's difficult to see the path. But you can see there's actually a break here. So, I need to find a different way, because if I walk forward, I'll just miss the path. and plummet. And it'll take me back to the start. So again, we're thinking about where is the objective and what is the objective. Okay, so I want to go to the door. I want to go to where the light is. I want to put the decorations on the tree. What is the objective? How am I achieving getting to that objective with a central mechanic and put the spawn point facing the objective and put great big lights and arrows on it like, go here. This is where you're heading to. Good stuff to know. All right. Finally, let's think about how does it work with more than one player. So, for instance, this actually isn't well designed for more than one player. I built this as a single player kind of experience in mind of someone going through a maze. So the paths are only one avatar wide, so it's not easy easy for avatars to pass each other. That was maybe a bit of a shortcoming on my part. So one of the things that does work quite nicely with other players is you can see people over there. So you go, oh, okay, I know there's somewhere I can stand over there. Whereas the Stuff the Tree experience by Space Sailor is much better than this, really, because it's not competitive, it's fun for anyone, and it's really easy to decorate a tree together. Like, that's way more fun than decorating a tree by yourself, so works well with other people. Cool. Another fourth point to think about is when do you win, right? How do you know when you're done? And when we did our labyrinth contest early in the year, you know, we made that a clear criteria. It's like, you've got to know when it's over. So the answer here is, oh wait, I turned experience audio all the way down. I'm gonna so Twitch is gonna take this down now, but you know, we've got some celebratory music, we've got a dance floor, we've got giant congratulations letters. We've reached the end of the maze. Okay, we've done it. If I run into the store here, this is our labyrinth contest winner, Secret of Mount Shasta. Highly recommend playing through this whole dungeon experience, and it is very obvious when you've reached the end, and it is quite the twist, quite the surprise. Very fond of it. So you kind of start out here, and again, let's turn down experience sounds. Don't know how loud it is for you, but it's pretty loud for me. And again, what is the objective? Where is the objective? Okay, I'm starting here at the camp. I'm on a mountain, and there is an entrance into a dark cave, but I can see lights down there. I guess I'm supposed to go into the cave. And not only that, but if I were to try and go in the opposite direction, I've got walls on all sides of me, an inscalable cliff, and then a sheer drop. So my only option is to go this way. Important to know. Cool. All right. And then sounds and lights are your friends. Final little point, you know, kind of showed that a little bit with the having experiences. I think this is super loud background sounds. Yeah, having lights, friendly lights on your end goal, having friendly lights showing you which direction you're supposed to go in. I didn't switch back to this, did I, when I was talking about this? Ah! Elliot, you're terrible. You're terrible at streaming. You mix this up so much. Sorry, like I was saying, we start here at this campsite. We've got this entrance into a cave, but it's a bit dark, but there's some lights down there. And then wall, sheer cliff, wall, sheer drop. So my only option is to go into the cave, thinking about using lights and the environment to direct the player towards the objective, towards where you want to go. I don't know how much of the stream I ruined earlier. I'm not good at switching. I've got too much switching going on. I should have just stuck to the slide. And yeah, using the sounds and lights then to guide people towards where is good and where is safe. Alright, enough switching and messing that up. Let's get to building. Hey, Exotoxin. Oh wait, I'm not got my mic on in here, and I was having some trouble with that before. Cool. Alright. Moving along, let's get building. I'm going to create a new experience. So I guess I should actually walk through that a little bit more. Going to go to the side menu, go to create, going to make experiences, and then I'm going to click the create button. You can have up to 20 experiences for free. And then we've got some base templates. And I think what I'm going to use is, actually I'm going to use the base template scene. And we'll call this one doors, because that's what we're going to be doing. And then once it's built, I'm going to click the little pencil to edit the scene. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use scripts to make a button that opens a door. And then I'm going to use those doors to make a game. That's the plan for today. And let me just realign some of this stuff. Cool. And then we're going to go into scene settings, which is over here. And we're going to turn down all of this fog, because the fog doesn't help us see what we're trying to do. And then we're also going to change the skybox to a different one, just because I don't like this basic one. It's a bit dark. There we go. Much higher contrast. I can see what I'm doing now. Wonderful. So let's have a look at our scene objects lists. I'm going to switch these around. And let's go over some basics. Now, if you want to know really how to do the real basics in building in Sansar, I recommend going to YouTube and checking out the Learn to Build series, where I went through all the basics about how to move the camera around, what all the different windows are. I covered a lot of basics over there, and I don't want to spend this whole stream going over all that stuff again. So definitely go check that out on our YouTube channel. Just look for the Learn to Build playlist. Cool. All right. But I will cover some basics for you guys. Directional keys or arrow keys to move around, plus and minus keys to speed up and slow down the camera. And then you can also do E and C to go straight up and straight down, because I'm using the WASD keys to fly around. So that's movement. Scene settings are things that apply to the whole scene, like fog and lights. Scene objects are the things that are in here. So we have a directional light we start with, a floor that we start with in this template, and the spawn point where we appear as an avatar. And then a properties window will show the properties of anything we have selected, and down here in my inventory are all the things I'm going to use to build. So let's get us a door. And I'm going to try using this one, and I really hope it's going to work. So this door is kind of cool because it's made of more than one piece. It's not. So we can see we have this door frame and a door inside it. And I'm actually going, so here I've clicked and I've selected the inside door rather than the door frame. So I can move that, which is kind of neat. And that's the Z rotation here. I'm going to put that back to 0. And what I'm going to try and do, wait, I need another window open. I need object structure. There we go. Okay. Let's make these the same kind of size. Cool. Cool. Alright. So this is the whole object, and then this is the door frame, and this is the door. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. We're going to worry about this. And so to this, we're going to... this is what I was afraid of. I can add a script to the door, the whole thing, but not the door on the inside of it. So what I was going to do was add a script that makes the door rotate and open when we press a button. But I wanted the inside of the door to move, not the whole door. So that's an unfortunate nature of how this object was built. All of these I didn't build, I just bought off the store. So that's fine. We will do this in a different way. That's not how I spell balcony. Let's just do balcony platform. That's a bit big. Maybe make that quarter of the size. And then we can use this gizmo here, grab the green to rotate it up, grab the red to rotate around, and then we can see the numbers it's going for here, and we can clean these up into being full, rounded 90 degrees, and all that. There we go. Cool. Now that's still pretty big, but I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to have it come down to the floor. Cool. This is going to be our door. I did Control D with the object selected to make another one. And I'm going to move it over here. And then we're going to Control D, copy it again, move it over here. Cool. So now the centerpiece, we're going to make it into a door that's going to slide up. So you're not going to know where the doors are. There we go. We've added another element of complexity and intrigue to our game by having a limitation with one of the objects in our inventory. So, going to select the object. That takes me to it in Scene Objects. I right-click on it, I go Add, and I add a script. So see it here appears here in its properties and as well in the object structure. From the drop-down list, I'm going to find Simple Mover. And I'm going to call move event open1 and the reset event close 2. And we don't want it to rotate, we want it to move. And this is where I always struggle. If you saw the Twitter post, you saw the video I originally showed how to do this, and I made a rocket fly that way instead of that way. So we're going to drag this up and down, and we're going to watch which numbers move. Okay, the Z is moving. The Z is moving. Cool. If I put 0, 0, 0, is that right on the floor? It is. Great. Cool. So we're going to go here. We want Z. And we want Z to... Wait, is it going plus or minus? It's going plus. Okay. So we want the Z to move like 4 units up. That's what it should do. And we'll do that over 8 seconds. Cool. So now we need to tie this movement to something we can interact with. So there's a couple of ways we can do it, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a button. So I'm going to go button. And we're going to take the Trek button. Yeah, we can take the case. That's pretty cool. So these objects are available for free on the store. This was created by the Sansar Studios team, and they put it up for free, which is really nice to have as a resource for everyone who wants to get building. Because, like I said, I have no 3D modeling experience. I'm just a guy who buys stuff off the store and assembles them. I'm a semi-professional video editor, so I don't really know how to make, but I know how to assemble. Okay, so we've got this case that looks kind of nice, and then we want the Trek button large tilted that goes with it, and we want to rotate it around, and then we go here, and we even up the number. And now we have this button, this nice big button, and we're going to line that up so it's actually on the object. And this one is a tilted version that has the same angle as this this little console it goes on. So we'll put it roughly center-ish. We can worry about making it perfect later. And then here's the button in Scene Objects. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to go Materials. I'm going to do a couple of things. So see, we have 2 things in Materials. We have the rims, that's like the metal rim around it, and then we have the button on the inside. And I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go to Tint, and I'm going to make this bright green. There we go. You can see it already changing color there. So now this is a bit easier to see. And generally, you know, green implies good and action and doable. So I think green is a good color to go for. And you can see it is standard and emissive. So if it wasn't emissive, it wouldn't emit light. So I can select this, and there's a bunch of different shaders I can choose from. And if it wasn't emissive, I would make it emissive, because now, with this emissive slider, I can make it kind of glow. See? So that's 12, that's 15. We don't have to go crazy, but let's put it at about 10, and that'll make the button a bit easier to see. Cool. Save settings, and we now have a button that is kind of nice and easy to see. Cool. So we're going to select the button and add a script to it, and now we're going to tie it to the simple mover that's going to move the door. So we're going to make this button become a button. So I'm going to do drag and drop, and we're going to find simple interaction. And I'm just going to do my paranoid check of Slack and Twitch chat. Just make sure you can all still hear me. All right. Paranoia over. Back to building. So we've right-clicked it, we've done add script, and then from the script selection list, we've done simple interaction. Now, all of the simple scripts were created by the Sansar team. Well, sorry, no. All of the simple scripts that are already in your inventory, free of charge, were created by the Sansar Studios team. And we're going to change the text here to open. So this is when you mouse over it, this is what it's going to say. So it's going to say open, and then on first click, it's going to do open 1. And then on second click, it will do close 1. and I'll get to why we're numbering those in a bit. And then the max events per second is how many times per second people can click it. So it goes down to 0 and up to 100. So I'm going to remind you, I'm going to go back to this object. Oh, click that away. The script we put in, we said it's going to do it over 8 seconds. So we don't want someone to be able to click the button twice within 8 seconds because it'll be doing its animation. And we're going to make it move a little bit further. So I'm going to go to our simple script, and I'm going to say max events per second is 0.5. So every 2 seconds you can press it. Maths is not my strong suit. I believe that's what's going to happen. Tell it. Let's just make it 1. Okay, so every second you can press it, but we would rather it be less than that. Wait, would 0? Maths. I don't know. I'm going to build. I'm going to build now and show you what this does. And hopefully it's going to work, but it's not because I forgot a step. Already realized what I have forgotten. Can you guess what it is, kids? I did call it out right at the beginning of the stream. I said there are 3 types of objects: static, dynamic, and keyframed. And if you want something to be animated, it needs to be keyframed. There we go. And we turn can grab off. So this is what I was talking about with the blocks that you could throw and they stay in midair. We don't want you to be able to grab this animated thing. That's going to break it. So turning can grab off and making sure it's keyframed so it can move. Now we build. Now something to think about with build times is I highly recommend building something out in a base template like this where there's very little going on, and then using our save to inventory feature, I'll show you later, that allows you to build something, test it, save it to your inventory, and then you don't have to rebuild your entire scene every time you want to make one interactable object. Cool. So here's our wall. Here's our button. When I mouse over it, it says open, and when I click it, it moves in the wrong direction. Way to go, Elliot. Way to go. You were supposed to go up, but instead you went forward. Well, there we go. There's a door. There's a door. So here's my idea. We're going to make a maze where the goal is to get from one end to the other. And what's going to happen is you're going to press a button to move these walls, but they will move other walls with the same command. So let's have a look at that now. Wait, I don't... edit the scene. Edit the scene I'm in. Cool. Alright, making these 0, 0, 0, so this line lines up nicely. And then, okay, if it's not Z, guys, is it Y? Wolf Mother, thanks for the shout out. They're on Steam now. Glad you're enjoying it. I'm gonna guess it's Y. So I'll put it in Y instead. Cool. Alright. So what I want to do is I'm gonna use close chat. I'm gonna use Control Click to take this whole wall. I'm gonna do Control D, and I'm gonna move it. Let's make rooms like this wide. We're doing them 3 squares wide. There we go. Alright, we'll do something like that. Alright. Then we'll select all of these, and we'll do Control D, and we'll put them about over here, and Control D, put this lot about over there. So we're now going to have a grid of 9 rooms. And then these ones on the outer wall I'm going to delete. And instead I'm going to select these walls that are walls, not doors. Do Control D and fill in that gap. And we can do it kind of rough at the start. Cool. Let's get back to scripts and thinking about scripts. Where's my check button? A bunch of things that are going to make it a little bit tricky, but we can organize these into groups later. Okay, here's my button. So, what's this first click? So first click, it sends out the command open one. Okay? So that's like a radio signal broadcast on all frequencies. And simple mover is set to the move event open one. So it's listening on all frequencies for the sound open one. And it goes, oh, I hear a call for open one. I will now do my action based on open one. Excuse me. So, so this means if all of these will do the same thing at the same time when the button is pressed, because all of the doors are listening to the command open one, and pressing this button will issue that command. So we'll see if that works. We'll build it, we'll give it a test, and then it should make all the doors move at the same time. Then what I'll do is I'll randomize the numbers. So some will be open 1, some will be open 2, some will be open 3, and we'll randomize what the buttons do. So some will send out the command open 1, open 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. So basically it's going to be some doors will move, some doors will close, and some doors will open. So hit open, and now every door opens. And they move too far, and again, in the wrong direction. Hooray! I'm so good at knowing my XYZs, guys. Cool. But I'm starting to like this this look of this kind of concrete with the Mars backdrop. I'm getting a kind of Indiana Jones kind of temple vibe. But great, this works. All of the doors moved. So this means we can use the same script that we've copied across to every single object, or every door we want to activate, and we can randomize these numbers. So, I want these two to open on open 1. And the reason I want to do that is because I want you to be able to see the objective, what we're talking about. We're going to want to see the way out, but then I want you to, as you move forward, it like closes in front of you, and now you're trapped in the maze. So it looks easy because all these doors will open. Then you get, okay, several doors open at the same time, but sometimes the doors close. So, what we're going to do is we're going to select all the doors. Sorry, that's not a door. These are our doors. Okay. And we can edit the properties for multiple things at once now, which is a great update. And we're going to make this X instead. So they should all now move up instead. Cool. So let's, we want to leave these 3 on open 1. But we don't want these ones to be on open 1. So let's make these on open 2. And we'll make them close 1. Still, yeah. That's fine. And then these are also close 1. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a different way to trigger a command. So we have a simple interaction, allows a button to become a button that will do something when we press it. I'm going to go to inventory, I'm going to go to system after I've cleared my search, and I'm instead going to put in a trigger volume. So I'm going to put that here. And this is basically an invisible blue cube that we can make do things when an avatar walks into it. So we're going to make this bigger. We're going to make it 5 by 5 by 5 because we don't want people to be able to kind of like teleport around it. We want it to be fairly large, make sure we grab people. Make it about 2/3 of the size of the room. And then to this trigger volume, we're going to add a script. And this script is not going to be simple interaction, it will be simple collisions. So we have agent collide and agent exit, and object collide and object exit. So I can make it so that if you throw something in there, it will trigger a command. That's object collide. Agent collide is an avatar. So agent collide is going to do the close one command. So, and then we'll clear the other ones, because that's the only thing we want it to do. So we don't want to have anything to do with objects, and we don't want to have anything to do when you exit it. So, we're going to also bring this forward, because this has an 8-second animation. You can probably run that distance in 8 seconds. So we're going to build this. And so what's going to happen is we're going to press a button. We're going to see the doors open. And then we're going to, oh, there's the exit. We're going to run towards it. And then the doors are going to close. And we'll be trapped in the maze. And we'll have to find the right combination of buttons to get us back out. So that's the basic premise. Ganazda in chat saying you're having trouble uninstalling Sansar and reinstalling it from Steam. We have a fix for that. If you uninstall Sansar, go to our website, sansar.com/download, download the latest version, install that, and then uninstall it again. Then you can download and install from Steam. Basically, older versions, older installs of Sansar are not completely removing a registry when they're uninstalled. So if you reinstall with the latest installer, it will correctly remove everything now when you uninstall it, and then that will allow you to download it from Steam. Cool. So here's our game door thing. Great, it's moving in the wrong direction, guys. Process of elimination. All right, and it also doesn't move far enough. Great. All right. Well, good thing we didn't put all the walls in. When I run into this cube, you can see it does the close command, and all the doors are closing now. But you can see I can't actually see that blue cube in the real world, and it doesn't do anything else when I walk into it again. Cool. Now I just realized something very important. Wait, I'm looking at all my experiences, not editing this one. If there's a giant cube in the last room that closes the door as you're trying to leave, you can never complete the maze, basically. So we're going to move this over here for now. Have the maze close behind you. And then we're going to select all these doors. And we are going to go down to their script. And we're going to make it minus 5.5. Cool. And now it should finally go in the correct direction. Awesome. Let's mess around with some more buttons. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this box. Oop. So we've got, going to do it in scene objects, a little bit easier. Button case and the button, and then we're going to right click, group into new folder. I'm going to call the folder button. Whoops. Cool. So now I can select the button collection, do Control D. Control D. There we go. And it'll copy both the button and the case. So I don't have to do each object individually and line them up. And also copy them as a new group, so if I misclick like that, I can still select all of them. Cool. So we'll put this button over here. And put it into the wall a little bit. Awesome. And this button's going to be different. So we're going to select the button here, and instead of open 1, it's going to do open 2. And at the same time, it's going to do close 1, I think. So first click it does something, second click it does a different thing. We don't really want that, because if you click it and open a door, then you run through the door, you're not going to press it a second time. But if I do comma and then another command, it will do both those commands on that one click. So it's going to open some doors, but close others. And that's going to be the kind of the basic premise of the game. So this is close 1, open 1, this is close 1, open 1, this is open 2, close 2, close 1, okay. So we want this to be close 2, and this one to be close 2. And then I'm going to move these instead to be over here to make our first room. Going to rotate around. I'm going to bring it over here to this line. And we can worry about inching that closer. 85, 87, 89.6. 692 is close enough for now. Cool. And we're going to move you. And we're going to rotate you to 88.839. Also close enough for now. Cool. And we're going to build. So we're going to press a button. It's going to open a door. We're going to run in. And then we'll press another button. And it will close the door in front of us. But it will open doors to the side of us. And give us other options. And that's basically the kind of the concept of the game, is navigating the correct sequence of ever moving walls. Pretty much. Alright, so we walk up and we press the open and it moves up. Finally got the right direction. And we can see our exit. Oh my goodness! And then this is, you know, when we'd have that trigger volume to close that door. If I press this one, closes that door and that door and that door, but it opens these two doors. And now I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I can go into this room, or I can go into that room. And there we go. Now we have the basics of our game, and that's kind of the concept, right? That wasn't hard, was it? I've been doing this stream for 43 minutes, and the first 20 minutes was me recapping last week and talking about game design theory. So really, this has been done in about 20-25 minutes, just using pre-provided scripts and free objects on the store. If you want these walls specifically, they are in the rooftop template, and I'll show you a cool thing. If I select something and right-click it, I can save to inventory. So I'm going to do that with our door version. Select, okay. I'm going to do save to inventory. And I'm going to call it, we'll call it platform, I'll call it balcony because I know that's what it originally was. Call it balcony door scripted. And I'm going to go OK. And now if I go into my created, you're going to see it's down here in my inventory. And I can drag and drop this thing I've saved. And you'll see it already has the script built into it. So I don't have to, if I want to go into another experience and start over, or if I want to test it in a light scene like this where there isn't a whole lot going on, I can just save it and then drag it and drop it, which is great for like being able to like build a radio, put all the different media channels in it, just in a nice easy scene, and like go and put it in my really complicated scene that takes longer to build. So now we have this, so we'll round up these numbers. And now we have another door. So I guess this one should be open 3 and close 3. Okay. And then we will ease that down, sticking to this side of the thicker line. And that's about lined up with these. What we can do is we can do Control D, bring these straight across, and see if they line up with everything else. Make sure it's all nice and parallel. I think we're going to go for a lot of symmetry in this place. Cool. And then these are, well, you're a little down. Don't know why you're a little shorter. Oh, it's because you're a little taller. There we go. 0. And 0. Awesome. So we're going to do a copy of this, and we're going to move you over to the side. Cool. So let's bring these all closer together so they actually form like a little maze like we're talking about here. So I don't want to bring it that close actually, I want it to be kind of right angle. We'll measure it up to this white line here. The nice thing about using the base template is we get this grid platform we can use. And it's not in your inventory by default, but you can use that save to inventory feature I showed off to put it in your inventory, like I did with these things from the rooftop template. Okay. Oh, and we also need to select this group here. Did it select the group? It didn't. It selected the objects. Okay, there we go. I just made a copy. Didn't mean to do Control D, guys. And then we want this group. Okay. I could put this into a whole group, but I'm not going to. I wanna get further along. Cool. We'll put this on this line here. Okay, so that's about the size of our rooms. And what we can do is we can do Control D. Rotation 45 degrees? Nope. Wrong. Wrong rotation. Also wrong. Oh god. I'm just gonna delete you and start again. Okay. This is why I don't do numbers. I just drag. Oops, not that way. Blue, red, and then I round the numbers. 45 degrees. There we go. That's how you do it. That's the way to do it. Cool. And then we'll duplicate. And we're not going to mess with numbers. We're going to rotate it around. Line it up. Something like that. Cool. And it's figuring it out for me. Saving a lot of time. I guess they're not quite as close over here. But hey. Something like that. You know, you're kind of getting it. You're getting it. You're seeing what we're doing here. So actually, what the easier thing to have done would have been to build this room first, and then copy it everywhere, and build our little grid. That would have been much easier than the walls already put out that aren't really going to help us. Never mind. Learning. See, don't have to be a total pro to get started. You can just kind of make these mistakes as you go and figure them out. And because I want to hurry up, I'm just going to leave it at that. Cool. Cool beans. So there's room 1, and I'm going to select everything in this room. Donk, 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 donk. And we're going to select button 1 and button 2. And we're going to go group into new folder, room A, or just room, I guess it's called. Nice. So if I select a room and I do Control D, I get a whole secondary room. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we're going to delete the rest of this. Oops. Ah. Sometimes it is easier to just select them in scene objects than trying to select them in world. Bonk, bonk. Delete. Alright. Room 1. Sometimes the Control D is a little sticky. I don't know if it's Sansar or my keyboard. Awesome. I'm going to take room 1. Oh, we should close these folders so we're not seeing everything. Cool. So we're going to take room 1, room 1, and room 1, and we're going to do Control D. Is it the keyboard or is it Sansar? We can also use shift click to select everything in between what we select. There we go. That's a little plink sound of a successful duplicate. And there we go again. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to randomize the numbers. So we also don't want the exterior walls opening. So we don't want multiple entrances and exits. So those objects, what we're going to do, where is it? Okay, so these are, doors, but we don't want the exteriors to open. We just want one entrance and one exit. So what we're going to do with these ones is we are just going to take the script and set it to none. So these no longer have scripts. Or what we could do is also just make it static so that they can't move at all, and then we could leave the script on them in case we want to revisit the scripts on them. Cool. And then we've got a couple of extra buttons on the outer wall here. I'm just going to delete these. And I wonder how much of a game we've made already with just these buttons that are going to kind of do stuff. Probably not much. So we're going to get rid of this trigger volume. We don't need it to demonstrate the game anymore. I just wanted to demo how to do trigger volumes. Cool. We're going to take... Okay, we've got that button. And which one is this button? Oh. Oh, that's the one on like the inside of the wall? Whoops. I guess there's a few too many. Okay, we're going to take this one from room 1, 2. And then from room 111, we're going to select this button. Okay, so we've got 2 buttons selected, although I'm not sure which 2. Alright. Let's do this a simpler way. These 2. There we go. Properties. You guys are going to be open 3 and close 3. You guys are going to be open 4, close 4. You guys are going to be open 2, close 2. You guys are going to be open 3, close 3. You guys are going to be open 1, close 1. And you guys are going to be open 2, close 2. Great. Open 2, close 2. Open 1, close 1. Open 1, close 1. And then this one will be open and close 5. And what we got going over here? Let's make you open 4 and close 4. Basically, I'm just randomizing the numbers. And then I'm going to randomize the numbers the buttons do. And I'm going to see if we can get out this maze. And that will be the end of the stream. So this button's going to be close 3 but open 4. So they obviously got to be different values, or they're just going to do the same thing. This one will be open 5 and close 1. This one doesn't need to exist. Actually, it does. Bring that back. I'm just using Control Z to undo that. This is going to be open 1, close 2. Actually, you know what? Oh, yeah. And you know what? It's also going to be close 3. It's going to do several things to mess around with you, because that's the last one. Or at least it's at the end. This is going to be close 5, open 3. And then this is going to be open 4, close 2. And this is going to be over here, open 3, close 2. Open 2, open 4, close 3. Awesome. So I don't know if this is solvable, but we're going to try it. And we're going to build a maze that suddenly I realized this is basically the cube. Although without the death traps. But the Cube is a great movie. You should totally watch it. Bit of 90s sci-fi horror, little indie film. Infinite cube puzzle that they're trying to solve, but it's all one set. And stars a very young Ezri Dax from Deep Space Nine. Highly recommend. Alright. I hope this is solvable. We do open one, and the door opens. Cool. And I can now... Oh, that opens a few too many doors. Alright, well, we're going to come over here. And I'm like, oh, I want to get out. Help me. I press this one. And it doesn't do anything helpful. Okay, so we come back. But this door is open. Alright. What happens if I press this button? Okay, it opens doors in front of me. We probably want something consistent in that the button opens the door in front of it, at least. So, okay, so now, that one's opening this one, but it's closing those two. Okay, and now, I'm back. I'm back here. So let's press this one again. No. Okay, so I can't open the door with that one. I have to go back in here and press open in order to get into this room, which I know is the button that will open the last door. So I press this. This door doesn't open. Doors behind me don't close. That one closes. And that one closes. Okay. So I know the outer door is open, but now I have to figure out how to get round into the right corridor. If I press this one, Nope, no help there. If I press this one, it's going to open this one at least. Good, good. Making progress. Oh, it opens the walls. I forgot to do the side walls. But it's... this one's supposed to open this door, isn't it? I thought that one was supposed to open that one. I thought I made this open and close 5, and this one was open and close 5. Oh, well, I sealed myself in. So I'm going to go in free cam mode by pressing F4, and you can see the concept. Whoops, too high. You can see the concept we've built. So that's what we have, is we have a gamified maze experience. We're using the simple scripts, simple interaction, and simple mover. And that's all we did. And then we duplicated the doors and the buttons into a grid, and then we just randomized numbers. And we have this randomized maze that you have to try and get out of. So obviously we need to do a little bit of thinking on some behavior, like we need to have some sense of progress, because all the rooms look the same. So we probably want to make them different colors, so you know you're in different rooms, and we can probably do that kind of quickly. This is what I'll talk about, sounds and lights being your friends. So let's do some lights. We're going to go to inventory, we're going to go to system, and we're going to drag some point lights into each room. And I can't see them because of visibility, so I click visibility and I go lights. And where did it go? Alright, we'll just drag another one in. There we go. And I can see this light object here, and we're going to change the color to a bit more of a warmer kind of gold. And then we're going to make it way more. Whoa! Too intense. Too intense. Just 20. Okay, maybe 40. There we go. So this is the yellow room. And then we'll make this one blue. And then we'll copy it, put that over here. And once again, you know, we're just taking good lessons from the cube, because all the rooms in the cube are different colors. See, I realized it reminded me of a very good movie, and then I realized we could be using that. Make those rooms pink. Duplicate them, put those over here. We'll make these rooms green. And we'll make this room the same color as that one. And then we'll bring a color in here. And we'll make this, what, red? Bright red. There we go. Cool. So now you can tell the difference between the rooms, okay? Now you've got some way to know, okay, I'm in the green room again. And you might figure out that there's more than one green room. You might get turned around and not realize there's more than one green room. Adding intrigue. But now our users have some way to track their progress and where they are in the maze, so they can learn the puzzle and solve it and be like, okay, I need to do, the order needs to be blue room, left green, upper pink, red, and then I can exit. That might be the sequence, the combination they need to press to get out. And they can track something like that. But there we go. A game in less than an hour made for you live here on Sansar. Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone. I hope that was helpful. Once again, I'm going to bounce over to our YouTube channel. I'm going to show it off. I probably shouldn't search for it. It's probably easier to go C/Sansar. There we go. You probably heard that. So we're going to switch over. Here we go. Here's our YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/Sansar to get the channel. And you see we've got our launch trailer for Steam. We've got some highlights of some cool stuff we've done. And then we've got the Learn to Build series. And if you check out these videos, you will see I've got, you know, the basics of placing objects, doing lights and sounds, messing around with fancy stuff like the materials, like I showed you before, making that button light up by making it emissive. And then using the simple scripts is probably the best one for showing off how to do all kinds of cool coding stuff, making this fridge and stuff like that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be back. There we go. I'll be back next week. And next week we'll be doing something, probably doing one of the more complicated things I've ever attempted. I'm going to try and build a choose-your-own-adventure game. So we're going to be doing a lot more with scripts trying to speak to each other, so that you follow one of two stories. And I'll be using my Cyberpunk apartment as a base for that because I love that place. Love it. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and be sure to check out our Discord. Just log into the website and go to your user settings and check out link to Discord to join our Discord. And if you're watching on Twitch, you'll see it down at the bottom of the channel, the same link to link your Sansar account to our Discord, and then come in there and ask questions. I'm Elliot, I'm the community manager. To ping me directly if you want, and we can chat about how to get you building in Sansar. Because I really didn't know what I was doing like 10 months ago, and look how far I've come. I can make a game in like 30 minutes. Of course you can't beat it, but it works. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Ta-ta for now. That's not outro, that's the outro.